Happy Tuesday, everybody. And I'm telling you something, it is so beautiful in Kelowna today. The sun is shining, the snow is starting to melt. I don't know if it's going to go forever, but you should see it. A little later today, before the sun goes down, I'm going to do a little thing outside because I want you to show how beautiful it is when you come here for personal treatment and trainings or for certifications. Right now, we're going to go into a treatment room and we're going to just check on one of the people that are here for their personal treatment and training. It's a week thing that we do. We customize and build this to help people to become the master of their minds and their bodies. Follow me. Come on in. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Doing well.
Good. Okay, so you've got some questions?
Yes. I'm currently taking thyroid medication. I've had a sluggish thyroid for years, and I was placed on hormone replacement therapy, and
Right.
I was hoping to be able to wean off of those things. That was my question.
Okay, so you're on thyroid and hormone therapy and you want to wean off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the situation. Okay, everybody does this, right?
Yeah.
So whether you're talking, and I'm not downing anything because I'm telling you, sometimes people have to take medication. We'll call it medication, but let's just call it drugs.
Okay.
Because guess what? What's the difference between a street drug and a prescription?
It's legal, I guess.
Guess what? That's the most intelligent thing that you could have said. That's amazing. Because guess what? A drug is a drug. The same prescriptions that doctors write have the same side effects as the drugs on the street. And a lot of the prescriptions that they write have even worse symptoms. So let's first understand. I think the most important thing that we make people understand is they're on drugs. And then when you're taking prescriptions, you become a druggie. That's why everybody says I need to wean off of it, right?
Right.
Okay, but if you were somebody in the street, okay, buying drugs off the street, you would say that you're addicted and we need to detoxify you and withdraw and help you go through withdrawal.
Right.
Nobody helps people go through withdrawal if they get prescriptions from doctors. And do you know why you don't get help with going through your withdrawal?
Because they don't want you off.
Because they don't want you off. So let's first understand something. And I want you to understand something. I'm not telling you to get off your hormones. I'm not telling you to get off your thyroid drug. Remember something. It's a personal decision. And I will tell you something right now. I will never be on a drug.
Good.
Because I know that I don't need drugs. Now, but the only reason why I know I don't need drugs is because I've been in the health business since the first time that I got into health was trying to get my grandfather who had colon cancer and try to get the impacted poop out of his rectum. And I'm only 19 years old. Oh. Right. So, and then that was the first time I ever did an enema on anyone. Oh. Right. So I've already been through this, and then all this schooling, and everybody else out there is getting schooled, aren't they? And fooled.
Yes.
So here's the deal. First of all, everybody's chasing the ghost. The ghost is the hormones. First of all, you don't need to balance your hormones. You need to balance your thoughts, and you need to balance your nutritional body and detoxify. The body will actually adjust the hormones when you find balance. Okay. So from this end, and try to balance the hormones, but you have a scar tissue, inflammatory issue, displaced calcium, crystallization, and all these physical blocks in your body. And there's not one person that hasn't got their pelvis on fire. We know right now that 80% of all males have prostatitis. That's inflammation of the prostate. Mm-hmm. We know that 50% of all females are dripping urine every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that all this inflammation is down here, right?
Right.
Okay, so where are your hormones regulated from? Well, we know that they're regulated even from the tissue cells of the whole body. That's why you can get rid of your thyroid, you can get rid of your ovaries, but you can still manage. It's when you think you're a cripple that you are a cripple. Okay. So we go on drugs because we say the body can't heal itself. Right. So as far as the hormones go, I will tell you, keep on doing them. But the more that you change your diet and get on the perfect day diet, and if you were to do the coffee enemas and do the things that you're being taught here, you wouldn't have a hormone problem. Now, I would tell people to go on Iterol to help to balance your thyroid because it's a time-release iodine, and it also helps against radiation. And I would also have a bodyguard for your thyroid.
Okay.
And I would never go on a computer unless I had a scarf around my neck, okay? Because the blue light is what's knocking the thyroid out.
Okay.
And understand, there's not a person that doesn't have a thyroid problem that isn't a terrorist. I will never have a thyroid problem because I just love myself so much that I am not going to allow any trauma in my family to upset me enough to throw my thyroid out of whack. And when people say, first of all, if you've got a thyroid problem, you have an adrenal problem. And if you have an adrenal problem, it's because you terrorize yourself at least 17 times a day. So you make up all this imaginary stuff about, I got to help my mother, my kid, life, my everything. And I don't do any of that. Unless there's a reason why I should take personal action, I'm not having a reaction. And you're continuing with this reaction that you don't even know you're running a program, which has actually drained your adrenals and thumped your thyroid out.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay, so now, so here's the deal. If you were my wife, okay, I wouldn't say my daughter, but my wife, I would want her to try this because my daughters not necessarily want to listen to me, right? Understand something, the programming that the medical system have done and that the corporations and the systems have done out there is stronger than me talking to my kids because my kids hang around with everybody else that's programmed. And then they've got their whacked out father who's a health nut and thinks he knows it all. So that's who I am. But the reality is that you have to believe in whatever you do. So if somebody says, I really believe that I need to be on hormone medication or thyroid medication, I go, good. Because I'm not here to try to talk anybody out of anything because your mind is bigger than that.
Right.
If I could actually teach you about your mind could balance your hormones in the next 10 minutes. But understand something. Did you ever notice in this world that nobody can do this certain thing and then one person does it? Finish the sentence now. And then everybody does it.
Oh.
So guess what? Everybody on this planet only believes what the majority believes. And guess what I believe in? Nothing that the majority believes because the majority are knocking themselves off.
Okay. Yeah.
So your body needs thyroid medication because you lack medication.
No.
No, but that's your thought.
Yeah, right, okay.
Okay, so you need hormone replacement therapy because your body is broken down and it wasn't made right. Okay, so when we talk about things and you're saying to me, what should we do? And then I would tell you what things you could do. Well, you could be on things like Divine Vine. You should be on things, like I said, like the Iterol. And if you just even upped your water, and you were drinking structured water, and you went on a whole plant-based diet, you introduced juicing into your life, and then you even did advanced water fasting, you wouldn't have a hormone problem. You can do an advanced water fast with ATP, Ormus minerals, and fulvic, and you do that for 12 days. And you've released as much stem cells as $125,000 stem cell therapy, and I can prove that. So what else have you released if you've released stem cells? You've just regenerated your whole hormonal system in your body. You've also detoxed. The thing is now, when you go to get off of the thyroid medication and the hormone replacement, you're going to go out of balance. And then you're going to go, oh my God, I do need my medication. But actually, no, you were going through withdrawal. And what you said to your body is, guess what? I don't need you, body, anymore. I've got a druggie that I go to that will shift the energy around and make it seem like everything's okay. Let me tell you something. Doing what you're doing is the same thing that the person does when they have a headache. They don't feel the headache, but they still have the acidity, they have the inflammation going on, their brain and their nervous system still firing up. When a person is on like morphine or codeine or opiates and they don't feel their pain anymore, it disconnects the actual wire transmission, but the fire is still going on. So understand something. drugs are not the answer. I am not out to bash medical doctors because sometimes drugs are the answer, sometimes surgery is the answer, but you don't become the leading cause of death in North America because you know what you're doing. Right. And I'm not trying to bash them right now because my daughter wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for the surgery. But the reality is how often do I need to take my daughter there? I've never had surgery in my life, and I never will. And people go, oh, well, he's cocky. No, because I know that the mind rules everything. So if you told yourself that you no longer need this medication, you would still have to go through the detoxification part. But you can take things to help to support that, right? Even doing patting and clapping over top of the thyroid reactivates it and brings it back. Doing patting and clapping on the adrenals helps to reactivate that. Okay, but let's take a look at the thoughts you have. Let's have you do me a favor. Write down the major thoughts that you have that are negative and write down the major thoughts that you have are positive. And I guarantee that your negative thoughts are outdoing your positive thoughts every day. And that they're outdoing them by at least 80%. You're going to go, that's not true. And I'm saying, tomorrow we'll come back here and we'll meet at the same place, same time, and then let's talk about it. Because we don't even know that we're doing it. You cannot have a dis-ease in the body if you're at ease with who you are. So the amount that you love yourself will depend on that. And understand something, when it comes to the thyroid and the adrenals, well, you're just not good enough. You don't work hard enough. You can't heal your family. You are an unworthy woman. When you become worthy, it's game on. And the only reason why you're unworthy is because you were handed a manual, said, here's a guide to guide your life. And you know what that guide's full of, right?
Yes.
Deception.
Yeah.
Because remember something, who wrote the guide? The guide was written by the 6 corporations. There's only 6 really major corporations that control the planet. I'm not going to get into it. So they control the planet. So if you wanted to control the planet, you would, well, come on. Look at the information. Look at if you go to a grocery store, did you know that only 8% of the food in a grocery store is healthy for you? And then it's still unhealthy because if they don't have an organic section.
Right.
And if you go to a health food store, only 20% to 30% is healthy for you. The rest is junk food, but we go to a health food store, we call it a health food. We go to a healthcare system that has brought everything back from what? It's all chemicals, right? Chemicals, surgery, that's all it is. Chemicals and surgery. So there's the confusion. Okay, so, and here's the biggest confusion of all. How do you like this one? Everybody out there believes that they have to be tested for everything. If I were to go over to that hospital right now, do I look like an unhealthy 64-year-old?
No.
Okay. If I go to that hospital and I say, run a battery of tests, you know what they're going to do? They're going to come back to me and tell me that I need this, this, or this. And I'm going to tell you something, that your body, every second of the day, is bringing you back in balance. You go out of balance, you come back in balance. Are you totally in love with life and are a walking, talking human of joy 24/7?
No.
Every time that you go into a negative emotion, every time that you get depressed about something because one of your family members aren't doing something that you want them to, and oh my God, and what about all the starving people? What about all the wars that are going on? Well, guess what? This planet's always going to be at war. There's always going to be starving people. We could end starvation today. We could end the wars today. But guess what? The powers to be are creating them. It's just the game. If you're going to, we came down here. We're not playing Scrabble. We're playing Monopoly. So how do you get your thyroid better? To love, honor, respect yourself, and know that when you want to come off of these medications, you're a druggie. So you want to be doing things like tummy love, Fulvic, drinking lots of structured water, doing coffee enemas, because most of that drug residue is caught up in your liver, isn't it?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably?
I guess.
It is. No, but it is. Okay? So how are you going to get off? Okay, so I would take a look at the Idorol. I'd take a look at the Divine Vine. And really start practicing 3-2-1, I got this. Every time that you think that you need drugs, 3-2-1, I'm bigger than this.
And some of those things I'm doing the coffee enemas.
Right.
And I do
Iodorol, yeah, and believe it or not, getting rid of the physical blocks. You know that the average person has 10 to 20 physical blocks in their body. So the more scar tissue and displaced calcium and crystallization you have throughout your body stops your energy flow, which is the invisible, and it slows down your lymph and your blood. So what happens if we get rid of the physical blocks? What happens if I get you to pad or clap on here for 20 minutes every night? You just reactivated and released the stem cells from your thyroid. And then, you know, if you take one of our Doc of Detox clappers, or even your hand, and you did this for 10 minutes, what are you doing? You're reactivating your kidneys. They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know that every disease is a scar tissue crystallization, calcification problem. And understand something. When's the last time you went to a chiropractor, massage therapist, shiatsu therapist, acupuncture, and they said, we've got to get rid of the scar tissue, the crystallization, the calcification? Yeah. The whole body work industry is dysfunctional. And I'm not putting them down. I'm trying to say it's got to end. It's got to end. That the powers to be are more powerful than you think when the whole health industry isn't practicing true health. And true health is what? Why are you here? You're here for a personal treatment and training, right? Yeah. So when you leave here, our job is to make sure one thing, that you are the practitioner, that you no longer are fearful, that you are not intelligent enough to look after yourself. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. So you have to make sure that while you're here, you come to me for everything. Go to Sage, challenge us, question us. And even when you leave here, you keep calling us.
Okay.
No, but this is so important.
I will.
How's your mother doing?
She's doing well. She was up and reading and
Trying to learn all she can while she's here.
She's loving it, eh?
Yeah, she wants to transplant. She wants to be here forever.
Well, I want you to tell your mother to come over and talk to me a lot. Or I can go over and talk to her.
Okay.
You know, the rest of the week here, I'm here for you guys. Right, Sage? As often as you want me to talk to you or your mother, you just come and get me. All right?
Okay.
Just ding my bell.
Okay.
I mean, I'm right here.
All right. We will.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
Okay.
No problem.
All right.
Enjoyed it.
Before I finish up your back.
So truly, that's what it's really all about. And I want to thank her for allowing you into the room and understand something, okay? It's your life, okay? Take massive action and take it back. Have a beautiful day, okay? Bye.